It is late 2025 and across the American West a strange, new war is being fought not with soldiers or tanks but with zoning codes, dark sky ordinances, and an army of high-priced lawyers representing one of the wealthiest religious institutions on earth. We call this the Temple Wars, and to understand why this is reaching a boiling point right now, you first have to understand the massive shift in power that has occurred over the last 3 years. For decades, the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, widely known as the Mormon Church, built its temples in silence, constructing modest, regional buildings that were generally welcomed by communities. But that strategy has been replaced by an aggressive push to build massive cathedral-sized structures with soaring spires in the middle of quiet, residential neighborhoods, and when towns say no or ask for smaller designs, the church doesn't negotiate, it sues. This aggression is backed by a financial war chest that has recently come to light, with conservative estimates placing the church's investment arm, Ensign Peak Advisors, at a portfolio value of over $200 billion, a sum larger than the GDP of most countries and bigger than the market caps of Disney or Netflix. This massive wealth means that when the church walks into a town council meeting in places like Cody, Wyoming or Bakersfield, California, the power dynamic is comically lopsided because a town with an annual budget of $15 million is staring down an organization that earns that amount in interest every single day. And town council members are realizing that if they go to court, the church can bankrupt them before the first witness is even called. But money is only half the equation because the church has also weaponized a federal law known as RLUIPA, the Religious Land Use and Institutionalized Persons Act, which was originally passed in 2000 to protect prisoners' rights and stop towns from zoning churches out of existence. But in the hands of the church's legal team, it has become a sword used to argue that the temple is not just a building, but a sacrament, and that the spire is instrumental to their worship, meaning any attempt to enforce height limits is framed as a violation of their federal civil rights. This legal strategy is currently tearing apart the town of Fairview, Texas, a community that prides itself on a keeping it country motto with strict zoning against tall buildings, yet in 2024 the church proposed a 45,000 square foot behemoth with a steeple rising nearly 175 feet taller than the local water tower, and when residents rebelled, the church sent a letter that officials described as a gun to the head, threatening a lawsuit that would drain the town's coffers. While the Fairview Town Council capitulated in April 2025 out of fear, the residents formed a group called Fairview United and sued their own town, leaving the project in legal purgatory. As we close out the year, making it a symbol of resistance where a small town refuses to be bought. Meanwhile, in Heber Valley, Utah, the fight isn't about height but about light, as the church proposed a temple on a prominent ridge illuminated 24/7 with enough lumens to rival a sports stadium, sparking a rebellion from the Save Wasatch-backed Dark Skies group, which is ironically led mostly by active members of the church who believe the light pollution desecrates the nature God created. Despite pleas to turn off the lights at 10 p.m., the church refused, arguing that uplighting is a non-negotiable religious requirement. And now, construction is a chaotic stop-and-start affair as the Utah Supreme Court weighs the case, proving that this isn't about religious persecution, but about corporate arrogance. The cost of losing these battles is terrifying, as seen in Las Vegas, where residents in the Lone Mountain neighborhood were ordered to pay attorney fees to the city after challenging a zoning change, sending a chilling message that fighting the machine will cost you your savings. While in Cody, Wyoming, a temple is rising after the opposition missed a filing deadline by days and the church pounced on the technicality. This creates a global pattern in late 2025, where the strategy is to announce a temple that violates zoning, refuse to compromise, threaten litigation under RLUIPA, and overwhelm the opposition with superior resources. This moment is huge because the legal precedents being set right now will determine the future of American zoning law, potentially turning RLUIPA into a superzoning pass that allows any religious institution to ignore local laws and build skyscrapers next to homes, marking a collision between the freedom of religion and a community's right to govern itself. As the cranes move in Fairview and lawyers file briefs in Utah, the question isn't just who will win, but what will be left of these communities when the dust settles, because while the spires keep rising, the resistance is digging in and the $200 billion war chest remains open for business.